Okay, actually, I believe that their response was quite impressive because unlike what I noticed, I'm sorry, there's a situation here, and the building where this fire started has now collapsed completely. And we had to run for safety, but the building where the fire started has now collapsed completely from what you can see now. That is building that you can see that has just got down now was where the fire started. And we had seen indications that the building was going to cave in anytime soon. And then there's a whole of a pandemonium going on here. If you can still hear me, I don't know what next is going to happen here because it looks as though some of the volunteers that are trying to put...
And we can hear her live right here in the studio. Correspondent Adesewa Odusoga. She displayed stellar reporting in the face of danger. She joins us live in the studio to shed light on the details that didn't make it in our initial report, and she's here with us. Also joining us is Kolade Adepoju. He is the Managing Director and CEO of Riel Homes, and they're going to join us now to just talk to us about the fire incident, what happened behind the scenes when Adesewa was reporting, besides that building caving in, as well as what it would mean to restructure. Adesewa.
Let me say this, Adesewa. Congratulations, first of all, for surviving that. It was fantastic having you.
Thank you.
You do that report and having you back here. Thank goodness. However, I just wanted to point out something.
Okay.
What's it been like since after? The response from people, social media, when you walk down the street? Do people recognize you?
Were you getting calls from family like, yo?
Like SS2 classmates?
SS2 classmates.
And stuff like
from
that.
Facebook groups that you forgot you were part of.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's been so overwhelming since then. And I used to say that I never knew that this week would turn out to be so dramatic.
Wow,
like
dramatic.
it did, because immediately when the video was posted on News Central's Instagram platform, I got a call from my sister first. I know you would have seen a comment on the page and said, "When are you resigning?" And then the next comment was, "I'm going to go and tell mommy straight up." And then my brother-in-law also said, "Okay, let me go and show mommy this video now. I think it's time." And before they could even show my mom, apparently when I was live, my mom's friend had passed because a relative, one of our shop got affected. Then she was screaming my name. Yes, she was there on the spot. She was screaming, and I was signaling to her that, okay, I'm live. I cannot say hi. But by the time she got home, she already told my mom that I saw your daughter in the fire incident. I said, God. Then my mom was calling me, where are you? I said, okay, I'm at work. She said, no, what part of work are you? I said, okay, let me just tell you. I'm covering another Dosunmu fire because I covered one 2 weeks prior.
Yes, you are our fire reporter.
So she was like, why are you always the one that they will send to go and cover fire? Can't another person just go for it? But it's been really overwhelming because I had no clue that that particular video would go viral. And from what happened was that we knew the previous one that I covered, the previous Dosunmu fire, we actually, if a building actually collapsed just before us as well, just that we couldn't capture that live. And then when this one happened, it was like I had experience already that when fire incident like this happen, when you see like some cracks, when you hear some sounds in the building, there's a possibility that the building will go down, I mean. So when I saw that, I just told the camera person, we need to stay some steps away from this building. I feel like the building will collapse while we are doing the live report. And then luckily for News Central, we were able to capture that as it was happening live because the other TV stations did not know that something like that was going to happen. So everybody was just busy taking like close-up shot of the victims. And then when it happened, we're lucky to be the only one that took it. And the first thing on my head was just run. I did not look back. So when I saw the comments of, she did not even look back, I knew that was going to happen. So somewhere in my mind was, when you hear a sound, just run. Because something is going to likely happen here. And then kudos to my cameraman, of course.
Oh, he was fantastic.
It was quite like, it was facing the distance, but both of us know that anything like this would likely happen. So he gave me the confidence to keep reporting because the first thing I did when I ran off, I saw that he was still standing and where he was safer than where I was standing. And then I just said, let me go and stand behind him and keep reporting. So later I was signaling to him that if you can capture me here and not, because that place it was already dusty and there was no way we could do anything. So he said, no, that let's just keep focusing on the people and the building, that I should just keep talking, that they don't need to see my face, they can hear your voice. So just...
And that's really amazing. Well done, because I mean, when I saw the video, when it was posted, of course, on the platform, and I saw it, and the first thing I noticed was the people who were standing right above the debris as it fell. I was worried that there were going to be people trapped under
yes.
there as well. Was that also your fear
Yes,
as well?
yes. So
right there.
immediately I saw the building go down. The point where the building fell, I saw some people, even NEMA, some members of NEMA were actually like there on that spot, and then the firefighters as well. They were right on that spot where the building fell. So I was, the next thing in my mind was, where are those guys? I hope nobody
safe.
was hurt.
Yeah.
So by the time I looked back, I saw that they were all like, I could count like, familiar faces were all still there. And okay, I think they're safe. And
Kolade, it's well done. Kolade, we know that so far so good. 14 buildings have now been pulled down. The markets have been closed down till further notice. They've also asked more traders, you were there, Adesewa, to go pack their things. It looks like more building maybe be pulled down in the coming days and weeks. And so it begs to ask the question, right, in terms of, first of all, and most importantly, the environment that our market is and the planning of this market. The vicinity and the buildings are so clustered together. That's one. Two, all of these businesses are busy. They power themselves. Either it's a diesel power generator or a petrol power generator, but they power themselves. And because they're so densely close together, they have the generators, situated inside of the building. And many of those buildings double, same as the storefront, same as the warehouse. It begs to ask a question of, how did we get here?
So when I got the invite that I'll be here, so I'm familiar with Dosunmu Market. I have a lot of people there, so I make some calls to know what, because this has been happening. Maybe in 1 year I've heard like 3 times. So I asked the guy what happened this time, and so he told me the guy was putting fuel inside the gen, first of all. But I don't think people know that in that house there are a lot of fuel stuck in that building. So I'm sure people don't know. So
there are a lot of generators. There are a lot, of course,
so aside from the generator, there are black markets. They have fuel stock in that building.
Wow.
So when he told me that, I was thinking about, because I know if in Dosunmu, you don't even have a street there. You want to go to other building, you have to pass through one tiny place
and jump into the next building.
How did this happen? First of all, I would say that Nigeria doesn't, Lagos, let me use Lagos, the market. That place, I checked back to the history of the place too. That place was one of the first places in Lagos State that happened, and it wasn't that it was residential before people start thinking of, let me turn this to that. The moment the government noticed that, I think that should have been curtailed, should have been stopped earlier. Because even in a residential building that is not a commercial building, you need 4.5 meters setback. That is residential. You're not talking about commercial. You should have more, because of course it means that the density of the people that will be coming there will be more. The lot of transaction will be happening there. So I want to first of all commend the governor for shutting that place down. We can't be sentimental or emotional here.
Yes.
No matter, I heard one person is dead, but I don't think there's any amount of money that can be compared to one human life.
Yes.
You can lose any amount, but you can get it back. But when you lose a life, you can't get it back. So shutting that place down is a very good decision. But what I would advise as a real estate practitioner is that, we shouldn't stop that place from being a commercial hub. But we could, all those building that is coming down, as the information I got from the guy, everywhere is shut down, no market is happening there.
What about the people who live there? Because some people actually live in these
whether you are living, now another thing, that's another
aspect of the situation.
Irony, like it's not right, it's not proper
to live
in that kind of place.
Now that you've said that, let me ask you, we have other settlements in Lagos that are beginning to become like that, and I'll give you a few examples. Surulere, for instance, used to be absolutely residential, but now when you go through Surulere, your boutique store is there. Where did you get this? Where did you get this?
No, please don't ask.
You just go down the street. The next, you're living here, the next street is a boutique. And it's Festac is also becoming so. Have blocks of flats that have all of its first or ground floor. They're all now stores.
The same goes for Lekki Admiralty Ways, where you see a kiosk building in front of what should be a mall.
So what could be done when you see these instances happening? They're burgeoning, they're growing. What advice do you have for the government?
So like I said earlier,
and that will, by the way, this will also affect people's livelihoods. Remember,
of course, it will. But like I said earlier, life is more important than any amount of money. Now look at the building that came down. Of course, now you are talking about livelihood. 17 buildings down. The livelihood is already affected. If it was prevented, it won't be as that was. House was raised down, fired. So I would say that this thing is a progression. You see the signs before it becomes a serious
disaster
issue
itself.
So, like the likes of Riel you talk about, the likes of First Stack you talk about, what is the original plan? Every city, every state has something called master plan. If you have a master plan that this should be residential, there shouldn't be any reason why it should turn into a commercial.
But then the same government or what we used to be called FHI, they are the same people who, back in the 90s and early noughties, were responsible for still trading or selling these properties to
exactly. Because why are you selling permits and properties to places that should be
so let me give you an instance now. When you look at Lagos, according to the master plan, Ekpe is supposed to be like forestry, agriculture, areas of region. But because Lagos State does not have so much land, it's understandable. They had to turn that place. So they had to give a go ahead to people to start using that place for residential. That has to be changed. That place still makes sense if you have a place for forestry or agriculture use and you are turning to residential. But when it comes to, and also you also have to regulate how many people will be in that building. Look at that Dosunmu Market now. You see, this place is too, if they want to turn this kind of place, they can turn into maybe 50 shops. 50 outlets.
It is wild what happens. In fact, I remember when I went to Lagos Island, it was around the Broad Street area. I was looking for a pair of jeans. Same old. So I'm going in looking for it, and then
you bent down too.
Wait. Okay. And so I was going through stores, and then the man who was there says, "Okay, auntie, I have more for you. Follow me to my other store." And I follow him. Please tell us why we go under. What should be a parking lot? What should be underground parking is where people are situated selling fabric.
Warehouses,
It's warehouses. And guess what? They have a central AC unit inside that place. It is wild. I have never seen it. And so those persons there, the people there could be in 50s, more than maybe 80 shops, give or take. And you're going in and out of shops, right? It's wild.
Can I redirect this to Adesewa here? So while this was going on, how was it getting to the to ground zero?
Right.
What were the streets like? Well, we asked our previous guest about crowd control. What was it like getting there? And if you were a first responder or an ambulance, or what would it have been like, do you think? Give us a clear picture.
It's always difficult to even, as a journalist, to even locate where the fire is burning. So most times we just keep tracing the smokes. Okay, this is where it's coming from. And then when you get, so this particular one, I and Mr. Thomas, when we went, we did a 360-degree turning. Because we went to the first point where the previous fire happened. It could actually lead us to where the fire happened, but there were so many crowds, and people were really shouting at us, go and pass another place. So when they saw that I was holding the microphone, she's a journalist, what if she's a journalist? So go and pass another place. So we turned. We went to another point, that's the second point. We couldn't find a way in because people were, the crowds were so much. And then we had people parked their cars, and some people were still selling like it was a normal day.
Wow.
Yes, other shops that were close to the fire spot
were still selling.
Were still selling, and they were normal commercial activities were going on. You would, if you hadn't seen smokes, you would not know that a fire was burning just by the neighborhood.
And now I understand why the governor would have shut it down, because I understand that people would have still gone back there.
That prompted the governor to do that, because for every time, I've covered a couple of fire accidents in Lagos Dosunmu Market, and it's always like that. So the entrance to a particular store that is burning, you would never have imagined that something like that is happening at the other hand. So it took us 360 turning before we could even locate that spot. And when we did, we were literally fighting for our lives, trying to walk in between crowds until I spotted a policeman. I said, please, we're journalists. We're just trying to locate the place. So he cleared the way for us, and it was even difficult for him until he brought out his sticks and rifle before they could respect him. So I wonder sometimes how the first response. So let me point out something. In the comment section, if you notice, I was going to mention when Debola asked that, how did the fire responders, how did they, what was their response like? And I was saying it was impressive. that is the first time in many times that I would say that
nice.
They were impressive.
That's good.
Because 2 weeks earlier, the people were really agitated at the fact that they came about 4 hours later. And then that was the point of anger for many people, that if you were here earlier, it wouldn't have gotten to this point. Right. So when I got there, when I got to this particular one, they said, oh, and they tried to. They've been here since. And indeed, when I got there, I saw like about 5 trucks trying to like simultaneously put out the fire. So when I tried to say that, that was when the collapse happened. And someone in the comment section said, oh, it's because I lied. So I have to say that we need to also give credit to these people. It's always difficult to locate the point of incident many times.
Guys, I will have to let you go because we're running out of time, but very quickly, you were there at the incident when they were shut down and they were asked for every of the traders to vacate the place, the market, and you saw firsthand the traders and what their sentiments were. I'm going to ask you about that, but also I'll ask you what it would cost for the government to restructure. You've got 40 seconds to answer each.
A whole lot of money.
So for the traders, when I looked into their eyes, it was very emotional. And I felt bad because some people's life is dependent on those small stores that you see. And then there was an old woman who said that she had been there since 1942, I guess. Like she was born in the market. Now she has to give out all of those things, because of the fire. So, but unfortunately, it has to be done because if you are being honest, they are settling on illegal structures, and the governor said, "No, what we are no longer going to tolerate this." So,
I want to say,
okay. So it's going to take a whole lot of money, a lot of planning, and I'm also I'm thinking will government want to do that, because there are a lot of projects out there. So, but I will encourage them if they want to do anything there, they should turn it to a standard commercial hub. And let's give these people maybe 20 years to pay for the outlet, or 30 years. That will also console them and make them know that they didn't lose outrightly.
Okay. Thank you. I want to say thank you very much for coming. And Adesewa, you especially, thank you very much. I'm not disregarding it. Dosunmu Market might have come down and might have been shut down, but your market went up. I think your price is now... your bright price is now how much? Let's put it out there. Just in case. But thank you very much. Thank you.
Many thanks to you, Kolade, for coming on. We appreciate you for doing this on short notice. And that's all we can take right here for our big report. Our star reporter of the week, Adesewa Odusoga, who covered the Dosunmu fire, as well as Kolade Adepoju. He is the Managing Director and CEO, Riel Homes.